TCG. I'm your host, aka Mike Dabbs, better known as the Gamesman here on this channel. And today we got an interesting topic today. Pokemon, the perfect storm. 2023 into 2024. Is the storm over? Or are we in the eye or in the center of the storm? I can recall that back in the days of my younger years, coming up in this not in this hobby, but in the sports card realm, there were a lot of storms. We had the sports card boom and bust that I was part of, and I made good money during that storm. I rode the storm out. I was in the center of the storm, or the eye of the storm, and then things kind of looked like it was too good to be true, and shit hit the fan on it, and the whole industry in general, sports cards, from going to shows. I was a big part of going to like Gloria Rolfestein in White Plains County Civic Center, where I used to go. There's a lot of dealers set up there. They were selling their wax boxes, booster boxes, and single cards of slabs, cards in magnetic, well, not magnetics. I don't think we had magnetics back then, but they had these big, thick, hard, not clamshells, but screw downs. They were really thick, and people would put their cards in there. And then, we had so many different card companies come up. We had Skybox, we had OPG, we had a Flair and Score, and so many different brands of cards being pumped into the sports card market. And it looked like it was such a perfect storm, such a perfect mix of harmony, such a perfect blend. And all of a sudden, there was so many choices. The consumers had so many choices which products to buy. Everyone was pushing this brand. Someone was pushing that brand. A new brand would come out of the box and say, oh, it had this chase card and the first rookie card of this guy. And all of a sudden, we're all running over here and climbing on that bandwagon and buying that product. And you go to the shows and the dealers are pushing this product and pushing that product. And everyone's hand is turning you to that hand and turning you to this one. And money is exchanging. So many things were going on in the sports card market, and then all of a sudden the market shifts because we had baseball strikes. Michael Jordan left the Bulls because his father died and he wanted to try to become a baseball star, so he went to go play for another team, and outside of basketball, he stepped outside of his realm, went in to play basketball. And then the sports card athletes weren't making enough money, so they decided to strike. And then there was football strikes and talks of other strikes going on, and the whole market of sports cards, because of the pump and dump of so many varieties of products, so many mass-produced products, so many choices for the consumers to buy, that ultimately the strike and the overproduction and not enough assumption of enough consumption of the products that were being pumped out were being consumed by the buyers, and even the dealers at card shows couldn't even offload product fast enough because there's so much product available. And because of the strikes, card shows that I used to go to that were held in little Holiday Inns and little Ramada Inns started to dissipate and disappear. And the card market in whole, once the strike hit and the overabundance of production of cards on the market got flushed out, these card mom and pop up card makers, OPC, Skybox, the smaller guys compared to Topps and Top Stadium and Bowman, they all started to go underneath and fail. And ultimately, there was only the top dogs in the sports card market that actually survived that market crash of the overpopulation of cards and overpopulation of product. So it seemed like it was a perfect storm that we were humming along in this hobby of sports cards and buying and selling, and all of a sudden different things happened within the market and the whole market in general collapsed. I seen it for myself firsthand that dealers at card shows were buying less than like 35% of Beckett. That was we had a Beckett guide that we used to go for card pricing. Unlike TCG Player, there was none of that. You could go to eBay, but eBay was in its infancy. You had to go to the Beckett. That was the holy grail of the god of what cards are worth and what they are pricing them at. And you look at the Beckett and look at and see if the cards was worth anything from the Beckett. I have every card in there listed, and it was a guide called the Beckett. And like I said, the whole market collapsed, man. And it looked like it was going to be all milk and honey, cream and sugar, sweet tea. And all of a sudden, it crashed. I was part of that, guys. Part of that crash. Another crash had happened that I was part of. Everything looked all sweet. I mean, the grass was green and everything looked good. It was a video game crash of the 80s into the 90s kind of era, somewhere in the 80s. The video game crash, where video games crashed to complete oblivion, where they couldn't sell games. Nobody really wanted. Nobody really wanted to be involved with them. There was just too much. Everything just crashed. So that was another market that went flipped upside down from looking like it was a perfect storm. That it turned out to be turned out bad for people who were video gamers. All right, another crash that I was part of was the Thai Beanie Baby crash, which this market, just like Pokemon, a collectible item of a little Beanie Baby plush bear filled with PE pellets, was pumped into the market, where Thai, the owner of the Beanie Babies, could not produce enough product, could not produce enough of these Thai bears. And just to show you that I was a collector, hold on, be right back. Just to show you that I was a collector. These are some bears that I brought the wife. We still have them. This one happens to be a little dusty. This one is called Dearly. And I got this for my wife. Still got the hang tag on it. It's a little dusty. Still got the little hang tag by Ty, and inside there was a little poem inside here, and it had tag protectors. All right. Another bear, which is a very popular bear, was the Princess Diana bear, and there was two different tags on here. There was PE pellets and PVC pellets, and this one doesn't have the tag on it. I don't know. Well, the tag did fall off. I still have it here. This is the Princess Diana. She died in apparently, I think it was a car crash. And this bear was going for like $100 to $200 on the open market. And this was another market that I was part of. Another market I saw crashed. And the Princess Diana bear. Then the other bear that I got the wife. Now, we had tons of bears. And this one still has its hang protector on it. This one still has its clamshell. Britannia. Now, certain of these bears were allocated to UK and stuff like that. And I got her the Britannia bear. And this was another market. Like, we enjoyed the Thai Beanie Babies, guys. And then we had the cases. All right, these were the bear cases that you put these things in, and they had a lid on them. I don't have the lids for them, but these were how I kept them. You can see they're all. Look at the dust, guys. They were sitting in the other room. We still have them. And then McDonald's came out, and they were selling them in Happy Meals, the little baby counterparts. And Beanie Babies took the nation by storm, guys. And I'm bringing up these things because, you know, we'll talk while I'm bringing up Beanie Babies and stuff like the other hobbies that I was part of that I seen the market collapse. All right? It's very important that you guys are aware of collapses and how they are formed and what happens in a crash, because it can absolutely take a toll on you guys. All right, can absolutely take a toll. Like, do we sell? Do we buy? Do we pick up more product now because we're in the perfect storm, or do we sell now? Get out of the market because everybody's selling. All right. So these were markets that I was in, and it seems like it was a perfect storm, guys. It seemed like the sports car was a perfect storm. It seems like the video games was a perfect storm. Seems like Beanie Babies was a perfect storm. And there was the 3 storms, guys, that I was part of in my younger days of entrepreneuring and starting my own kind of like side hustles. I got involved with, and I seen the crashes, you know, and coming to YouTube, you know, with Pokemon and the knowledge of the crashes and all the other experience that I had in the collectible hobbies that I was in long before YouTube was around, guys. So I'm not one of these new guys, this new cat here on YouTube just talking out my yak. All right, I'm talking from experience. I bring experience to the table from markets that you guys might not even know about. All right, but if you do your research on them, there was collapses in all 3 of those markets. And not to say that Pokemon is going to be invulnerable to being tapped by being collapsed. All right, by Pokemon is not untouchable. It doesn't matter how big Pokemon is or how deep Nintendo's pockets are, they can ultimately collapse. All right, if we take a look at Rudy, if you've been checking out Rudy's videos as of late, Hasbro, one of the world's leading toy maker, is collapsing. Kind of like collapsing, guys. Stuff is going under. And I believe Hasbro is part of making cards for, I think, Magic the Gathering or some card market. It's absolutely going crazy for them, where they're firing employees. Things are happening in that market. All right? So just because Nintendo is at the helm of Pokemon, don't think that we are in a market that cannot collapse, that can't be tapped and be dismantled, because ultimately it can. It doesn't matter how much money it has that is backing it. If Nintendo decides to pull out and say, hey, you know, the storm is over, guys, we're done. Fold up, what are you going to do with your stuff? So, being that I was in these markets, that I got in, I got out. And I moved on. I moved on because the storm was over. And those errors of cards for me, I sold a 3,500 count box. It had Kobe Bryant rookie cards, Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards. Guys, this was in the time when these guys were in their prime. All right, I had Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards from Beam Teams and Stadium Club and a lot of the other big names back in the 90s. Of those era when these guys were rookies. I had their rookie cards, guys, when they just started into the NBA. And I sold off those cards, guys, at 35% of the Beckett price guide. And it was a 3,500 count box full. Cards were in top loaders, sleeved, and because of what was going on in the market, the strikes, Michael Jordan moved on to baseball. His father died. The Bulls' era the reign was over. They won their 9 champions and championships and all of that. Back in the 80s, 90s, well, it was in the 90s. The collapse of the card market for me, I was done with the aspect of collecting sports card. I decided to sell my collection, and I sold it at a reduction, 3,500 count box, 3,000 and some change worth of value at that time of what those Kobe Bryant rookies were worth, and what the Shaquille O'Neal beam teams and refractors and stuff were worth at that time. I got like $350. I sold it to a Holiday Inn dealer at a total. It was a total bust. I didn't make any money. I just got money based on the values, below the values of what the cards are actually marketed for based on the Beckett. So I took a loss on those cards to get out of the market because I was completely done with it. The collapse of the sports cards, it was done for me. I decided to sell my collection. I got out, and I never looked back to sports cards until into the 2000s during the pandemic, when I got back into sports cards, collecting blaster boxes and stuff. That's when stuff started to take off. Now, for Beanie Babies, I made tons of money with Beanie Babies. Tons of money selling bears. I actually locked up card shops, gift flower shops, Hallmark shops, where I went to talk to the manager. I said, hey, I would love to buy bags of bears from you guys, and if I could buy them, I would like to maybe pre-order them, or you can order them. Call me when they. At that time, I think I had a beeper and a cell phone where they had a long antenna, because we didn't have this new sophisticated stuff we got now with the cell phones. We had beepers and stuff like that. So I told them, either call me on the at my parents' house, let me know when they come in, and I would pick them up through the back door of the store. So that way, if you're still open, I prefer to come when you're closed. I'll come through the back door to pick up my bears. That way, your customers coming in don't think you're doing anything shady. All right, because I'm pre-ordering them, and I was paying, I think, $9 or $10 per bear, and I was pre-ordering them prior to them even having them, because I didn't want to stand in the mile-long lines. And I was pre-ordering sleeves of bears from flower shops and gift shops and mom-and-pop setups that got into selling gift cards and flowers. So I got into that aspect of buying Beanie Baby bears by the sleeves without having to go into a line, mile-long lines at the stores. Then Ty was trying to ramp up production, just like Pokemon is doing now. They ramped up production. They opened up all these facilities, Pokemon did, and is printing all these cards, printing by demand, and it allows Pokemon to print more product. All right? Kind of like how Ty did with his Beanie Babies. He didn't have the facilities set in place to deal with consumers that, for the demand of his bears, right, of his products. He had all different kind of Beanie Babies, guys, all right? All different types. There was ostriches, turkeys, ducks, all kinds of animals he was making. And ultimately, he needed to ramp up production. I'm bringing these points up because it involves Pokemon, guys. Ramped up production, okay? So Ty ramped up production. So he found more facilities so he can get the product to more consumers that wanted his product, all right? And with that, it still wasn't enough. that he decided he was going to retire the Bears. And when he said retire, that means done, right? When you say retire from your job, you're going to retire from work, and you're going to, whatever you're going to do at home, right? That's what you decided to do when you retire from your full-time job. Well, same thing with retirement of Bears. He put them in retirement. Retirement means out of production, just kind of like how Pokemon does with out of print. They don't print the cards no more. All right. Beanie Babies got out of print and never were printed again. So we took that aspect of out of print, meaning that they weren't going to be available anymore. And people were buying the Bears based on their retirement. And they started to have a value, just like our pop figures and sports cards and, die-cast Hot Wheels and all the other collectible toys and stuff in the markets. They gain a value. So Beanie Babies started getting values based on their retirement and how rare they were, and if you had the PE pellets, if you had the PVC pellets. And ultimately, Ty said he was going to retire the Bears, and that was going to be it. And he came out with the last bear called The End Bear, which we took it to heart like it was going to be the end of Beanie Babies. That was going to be it. And actually, it wasn't the end. He pumped the Beanie Babies to hell. After that announcement, it wasn't really an announcement that he was retiring the Bears. Yeah, they retired a lot of beanies, but they ultimately pumped out more product. They made so much of it that it actually collapsed the whole market, where there were no more lines in malls, no more lines at Hallmarks, no more lines at flower shops, gift shops. No one wanted the Bears. So a pump and dump happened where everybody who was online at McDonald's, I remember mile-long lines of McDonald's, just like when Pokemon was doing their cards, everybody was lining up to get cases of the 25th anniversary Pokemon cards and the McDonald's era toys that they put out for Pokemon, and the demand for the products always, there was not enough supply. So, back to the Beanie Baby aspect. He pumped the hell out of Beanie Babies and actually killed the market. It self-destructed the collectible. All right? Is there a time when Beanie Babies come back? I don't think it's going to be able to come back from that devastating turn that it took. Even though they're still producing Beanie Babies to this day, they're still producing Beanie Babies to a point, but no one's buying them like they were back in the 90s. All right? So the market was never able to capitalize back, able to recuperate back to its former state of where the glory of where it was. It fell from it. It fell from its throne. So, guys, back into Pokemon, guys. We have so many TCGs that are entering the market. We have Lorcana. We have One Piece. We had MetaZoo. And look what happened to MetaZoo, guys. MetaZoo fell off its glory. I remember a lot of people on YouTube talking about MetaZoo and buying into MetaZoo. I'm so glad that I just bide the time. I looked at the market, and I wasn't satisfied with MetaZoo. I wanted to see what was going to happen with it. And I saw UFO, and I saw the first edition stuff started to go up in price. And now it's actually a pump and dump now. It's actually, I think Epic 2 HT put up The End. He's done with MetaZoo. Rudy isn't doing too much, or Rudy can't hear. He's not hearing back from anything from MetaZoo about his Rudy card that is going to be printed. So he doesn't even know what's going on with it, but it actually collapsed, and everybody's flash sailing all the boxes, which are just tanking in price. So, in these new TCGs, just like Lorcana came out, boxes of Lorcana was not available to consumers as much. There wasn't enough supply out there. So what happened with Disney is Disney mass-produced Lorcana, all right? And now, go to Barnes & Nobles. I think you can go to Target. Lorcana is sitting on shelves. It's not moving. And, you know, all the cards are going to end up tanking in price because Disney came out, right out from the gate, said that they are going to flood the market with Disney Lorcana until their cards are readily available so people can get their hands on the cards to make decks and stuff. So, with that said, coming from Disney, that they were going to pump Lorcana to the ground, we're going to obliviate Lorcana. Pump it so much till the cards are basically worth nothing. So now you'll be able to build your decks for pennies on the dollar, all right, for Lorcana. And your cards aren't going to be worth anything, right? You're buying this product for cheap. It's just going to end up sitting on shelves of Disney Lorcana where this stuff was rare, right? Was hard to find. Everybody couldn't find it. Now everybody wants to probably go to flash sale their stuff. Back to the stand of Disney. I used to collect Disney cards. Hunchback from Notre Dame. I collected the 101 Dalmatians, Pocahontas. I had the Duplex cards, the pop-up cards, the Lenticurier cards, the holofoil cards, the special serial number cards from Disney Productions. I got them at BJ's or something like that back in the days, buying them. I got them from Gloria Rothstein shows, wax boxes from Skybox, and the cards did go up in price a little bit back then, but hasn't really done anything since. The shows weren't around to showcase those cards or how much they were, you know, it is to make a set now. So the cards haven't really done anything in price. I mean, they're pennies on a dollar now. But knowing that Disney pumped the hell out of it with Skybox, that I steered away from the rocks when Lorcana came out. I didn't get involved with Disney Lorcana because I already knew Disney for myself, that they were going, Disney is not a TCG, they're in a TCG now, but Disney is a mass marketing appeal company. They are going to appeal to the masses. And Disney will make sure that their products are widely available. So they have no concept on how much to produce or how little to produce to keep the demand for their product up or to even get it into the TCG to have the cards viable, that collectors are going to want their cards down the road, even when they go out of print, and to even want the next product. Now, if Disney had kept it the way they were rolling, where the product was selling, and they just sporadically pumped some product out and didn't mass produce it, they would keep it in demand. But I don't know. Lorcana is going to be funny. I think it's going to fall off for a while, and then it may come back. But if Disney is going to pump out each set mass produced to make sure that the next set, when they do Lorcana version 2, whatever they call it, chapter 1, chapter 2, if they come out with chapters, it's going to be very hard to see what happens to chapter 1 based on how much supply is introduced into the market, and what the ultimate price goes with those single cards once chapter 1 is now finally printed and it's done, and they're not going to go back to it, and they moved on to chapter 2 or chapter 3 or whatever the hell they want to call the next Lorcana set. You may not capture that audience for that box because people are going to look at chapter 1 and say, well, you printed the hell out of this. These cards aren't even worth anything. And I got into it for the concept that my cards were going to hold some kind of value, and these cards aren't even holding the paper they're printed on. So it's going to be hard for Disney to sell that next set. See what I mean? Kind of like it is for MetaZoo to come back from where it's at now. there will be a point of no return where the company is just going to only give up and be out of the card market. Oh, you guys put your money into a Lorcana, and then all of a sudden it's not available no more, and nobody wants the cards. So I stayed clear of Disney just because it's not a company that is going to cater for the TCG. It'll cater to the people who play the card game, but the actual collectors that are collecting the cards, those cards may be actually worth pennies on the dollar that were hard to pull, and you're going to have to see if the market is able to, I'm going to say market is going to be able to consume all of that supply to capture the audience to keep those cards of value. And I don't know. I don't have the answer for that, but my answer to me is I'm staying clear of the rocks. I'm not getting involved with Disney Lorcana. All right? You see Rudy, if Rudy is not even buying the product, all right, that shows you a sign that you probably should stay clear too. It's okay to go and buy a few packs, maybe buy a wax booster box, but ultimately stay clear. All right? Stay clear. So, with all these new companies that are coming in for TCGs, all right, coming in, you got to be very leery on the market. Now, some interesting things going on that were in Pokemon. We had a perfect storm, guys, a perfect storm that we're either still in the perfect storm or we are in the eye of that storm right now. Going to 2024, we may be still sitting in the eye of the storm that was originally created back during the pandemics with all the hypes for Pokemon. And we still have a hype for Pokemon. There's still a hype. But there seems to be an oversaturation of products, all right, where you're going to the stores and there are products on the shelf. Back in the time of the pandemics, we were having shortages where we couldn't find products. It was a perfect storm in the brewing, guys. It was a perfect storm in the brewing that we may very well still be sitting in the eye of that very set storm for investing purposes that we may not be making plays on because of the oversaturation of product, that the storm may continue into 2024, all right, or the storm may leave, all right. But what I say with that, take it with a grain of salt, if you will, is Pokemon is printing a lot of product, guys. A lot of product. And the deals are apparent. The deals are abundant. And we're going to move into 2024 with deals still going on in Pokemon. Deals are still going to happen. All right? And it all is based on the over-absorption of cards. We have so much Pokemon now. You go into every store. You see it on YouTube. Everybody can go into a Walmart. Everybody can go into a Target, a Myers, a Walmart, a Dollar General, Family Dollar. All right? Even gas stations have booster boxes. Toys R Us carrying booster boxes and ETBs. All right? Then you got your LGSs stocked with stuff. So much product out there, not enough people buying in to consume that production. Therefore, sales will continue in 2024. Now, back to when I was talking about Pokemon, Beanie Babies, the pump and dump of the sports card market, the overabundance of Beanie Babies, all right, the crashes and all of that played part. Not saying that Pokemon's going to crash like everybody's talking about crashes on YouTube now. Pokemon cards are crashing. The market has fell out. Pokemon's bellying up, whatever, right? Believe in whatever you want to believe in on that aspect. But as an investors, we make plays during other people's tribulation. So if you want to believe into that, well, as an investor, you should be making plays while other people are running away from the hobby. You should be setting up to make plays in the hobby. All right, that's just how the ball rolls. And investors are investors for life. We still make the plays, we still make the calls when nobody else wants to, or everybody else is afraid to. We still go and do what we know best, and that's determine when it's a time to buy. And there are times to sell, which you'll be able to know when a time to sell is apparent. All right, you will sell if you know how to sell. That is, if you're investing and don't know how to sell, I think you better start learning. But as far as Pokemon mass producing, because this is exactly what's going on right now. We have a lot of product that is on store shelves, and a lot of LGSs and distributors that are holding a lot of product, that are holding because they cannot, they're not selling it because there's not enough people that are buying those particular products in bulk. Even though sales based on eBay from Nostalgianomics, sales are happening on booster boxes, people are buying product, guys. Hands down, people are buying Pokemon products, all right? But not at Godspeed, where they're just buying it up. There's more being replaced back to the shelf. The demand to buy certain products is just not there. And the flash sales that we see now on TikToks and everything else, where there are some good deals there on TikToks. There are some good deals on GameStop. You'll find some deals on Walmart.com and Target.com. You're going to still see the deals happen into 2024. All right? And, you know, Pokemon is going to have to make an adjustment. All right? They are going to have to adjust because they just can't go forward, continue to print. Because if there's nobody buying that product, that they continue to just print, and it's all Scarlet Violet, all right? It's a lot of Scarlet Violet stuff now, and then you have a lot of box sets that you hear it for yourself from Mason, Cardinal Gaming, talking about certain boxes they don't sell. They just are eye candy. You know, people want that box, the Charizard, the Gyarados, because of the flashy card inside. But they're mass-produced stuff. Really, the cards inside are packs that we can just get from buying an ETB or something else. Really not something that you're just buying a box just for the one card. Is that going to be good enough? Is that going to be ample enough to want people to buy a lot of boxes? And my answer is no. You're still going to see a lot of those boxes get replenished back to the shelf. There will be some certain outlier boxes that will go up. But most collection boxes are just for just opening and just, you know, they're just like how Walmart was impulse buys. It's just an impulse buy, a box buy, that you buy it just for the hell of it, for shits and giggles. You just buy that box just to open it up. It's not a box that you would invest in. And a lot of the boxes that we see now typically are still sitting at Walmart and Target. They're still sitting on the shelves, guys. Still sitting on the shelves where you can go in and buy it. Buy anything you want from Pokemon. All right? And there's going to come a point, guys. And it's going to come. And we may not know. We may not know when or what product it is. But Pokemon is going to come to the point, guys. The realization, guys. It's going to happen because they did it. They did it previously in Sun and Moon and into the XY where they did short print. Certain particular products got short printed. And I truly believe that we're going to come to an era in 2024 sometime where Pokemon is going to stop those damn printers. And they are going to short print certain sets, guys, because the demand for product is there, but not enough of the demand there to keep buying the product up that they keep pumping a lot of. All right? And booster boxes are probably going to be your avenue to just buy and hold. Pokemon Center ETBs are going to be your next item, and then maybe some build and battle, a booster bundle box sets. And there may be some outlier box sets mixed in there. But the rest of the stuff there is just going to be pump and dumped, and you're going to see flash sales and more sales in 2024. And it goes to show you that some people did leave the hobby, guys. It is relevant that some people did leave the hobby. All right, and whether it helped or hurt Pokemon, we had new people that did enter into this hobby. But in no way, shape, or form are they buying like the people that left. All right? Because maybe some of those people that left the hobby had a lot of money that they were throwing into the hobby that they realized, say, hey, you know what? Pokemon is just printing too much. And I got enough right now that they're looking to park their money in some other stuff right now other than Pokemon or another TCG that they might have moved into. A lot of people moved into One Piece, which, you know, maybe a safer bet than Lorcana. All right? Just saying. All right? But a lot of people did exit the hobby, and we did have new people come into the hobby. All right? But Pokemon is going to have to make an adjustment, guys. Is going to have to make an adjustment sometime in 2024 where they are not going to pump and dump. They're going to say, all right, you know what? We have printed enough of this. Now we are going to do some short prints here. We're going to cut the production down because this product is just sitting on shelves, and Walmart, Target, they can't sell it. They got to mark it down. They're going to take losses. They're going to come knocking on our back door and say, hey, we can't buy as much anymore. So they may cut their expenditure down on how much product they're buying from the Pokemon company. Therefore, Pokemon is going to have to shift off that product to somebody else that's willing to take on that number of products that these big box retailers are not buying. Because it's going to come to a point, guys, where the shit is going to hit the fan with LGSs that are not going to want to take the product because they got too much already that ain't even selling that they got. And due to the economy, is going to take effect on people's pockets because we just got out of Christmas, all right? And a lot of people shopping on the credit card mentality and then hoping that their income tax is going to bail them out. We got no free tendies here, guys. We got no stimulus checks. All right, we got people that are out of a job, people using people going to their 401ks, borrowing money, all right, to Christmas shop. I hear the stories, borrowing from their 401k, that's their retirement money, to pay for expenses, for rent or whatever, guys. Some people are having some hardships, guys. And even in this hobby, there are probably some people having some hardships in this hobby that are selling their collections because of that hardship. All right? Selling their collections because of the hardship. All right? Because they have no other income coming in. That this is the only income they got. They have to sell their collections to pay the rent, pay that credit card, pay the mortgage, pay for a car note, whatever, because they don't have that money. There's no free stimulus checks anymore. All right? The cost of living gone up. Cost of Pokemon went up. To get it, to be in this hobby, to spend money in this hobby, products went up in price. So, with the added of costs of prices of your regular food, people don't have that extra money to really go into collectibles as hard as they want. People are cutting back. And what's the first thing that's going to go, guys, is collectible. People are going to put food on their table for their family to provide for their families versus putting into a collectible, especially if money is already tight. And going into 2024, this New Year's, hopefully it's a new year for some of you guys getting into this hobby. You make the right choices when you get into this collectible, because it's hard enough that prices are up, cost of living is going up. Might not have got a raise at your job to compensate for that, even if it's going to be enough. But Pokemon Company is going to have to make some changes. And it's going to happen in 2024. We may hear about it when it's too late. We already bought those products. And hopefully we got those products that are short printed. We might not even hear it's short printed. Pokemon may do a last minute thing. Say, hey, by the way, guys, we did a 50% reduction on printing of that set. But we did a print to demand just to get an eye on how many people wanted it. And we have just a little bit left that we're going to pump out to distributors. And that's going to be it. And that print run is done. And then Pokemon, or everybody's distributors try to go back to buy more. They say, oh, Pokemon said, no, got no more. Printer's been shut down for that. We're not even doing reprints on that because we did the print to demand. We printed this set. We found out how many of you guys wanted it. We sold it. We have X amount left. We redistributed that back out to distributors. Once that set is done, well, it's done. We may not even know that that set in 2024 was short printed until it's too late. But by that time, would you have bought your product or would you still be looking to buy more product? Which might not be available, but it might not be available. It might be available, but not at the price that you were willing to pay. It might be at an absorbent price. So if Pokemon starts to cut back and does an unannouncement on what sets are going to be short printed, and we realize too late, then you might have missed out on an investment of getting into that item at that low price when it first was introduced because you had no pre-knowledge that a set was going to be short printed. So, just expect this to happen, guys. That just because product is overabundant, it's available right now. You can go into any department store that you want, Target, Walmart, products on a shelf. Where we used to see it disappear, the printers are on high speed, guys. Pokemon is printing this shit to the ground. It is out there. It's out there. Certain things like you have to gonna have to key in on specific products that are going to do good in the long term. And I believe that you can always go back into the Scarlet Violet era because it's available right now. And it's still too new of a set that it's still available to distributors. So I believe there's still time to get into it. When you decide to get in, it's still time. The sets are going to be there for 2 years, 3 years in rotation. So Pokemon's Scarlet Violet era products not going nowhere. You still got time to get into it. Some of the outlier boxes and specialty sets you may want to jump in now, which might end up being short printed. May seem like there's a lot now, but might be short printed, and that's it. But I absolutely believe that Pokemon, guys, is going to short print some products going into 2024, and you guys should be expecting that. But as far as the hobby itself, the hobby is good. All right, the hobby is good. Pokemon is just treading along. All right, but you never know. There may be some layoffs at Pokemon Company where, hey, doesn't matter how big you are. All right, it doesn't matter how big you are, how deep your pockets are. You can only hold out so far, but definitely you will have to cut back if you're just printing cardboard and no one's buying it, and then the Walmarts and Targets start putting complaints and say, hey, you know what? You keep sending us all this product. In order for us to sell it, we have to keep giving a discount on it, which cuts down our margins for the product that it's not even worth us even carrying in the store because our margins are already slim buying it from you. And if we got to cut it down again to get a tiny more percentage, a tiny less more percentage, it's not even worth us carrying because we rather carry more boots or more socks and fill up that area that we're making sales on and making better margins on than carrying Pokemon cards in the store because no one's buying this stuff. All right? No one's stealing it as well neither because that demand for that, people are just exiting the hobby where there's no one in there going to Walmart, Target, filling up shopping carts like they were in the pandemic, 2019 to 2020. We're past that point, even though we still have rip and chippers and scammers on TikToks and all different other platforms still doing their rip-off stuff. But the aspect of people stealing the product, I don't think that's happening as much because people, realize that it's there. It's not even moving. That if people want it, it's not in. It may be a high demand product, but people are not. It's still there. I can go into stores. 151's on the shelf, guys. 151. Pokemon 151's on the shelf. I'm buying 151. I'm buying. If you want to leave it there, I'm buying. All right. I'm just letting you know I'm buying 151. Doesn't have to be where you put your money at, but that's just a set I'm buying. I believe in the product. I believe it's going to do well in the lawn. It's a specialty set, no booster boxes, so it doesn't matter. That's already one cut down where you're eliminating 36 packs. All right, no booster boxes, so they can print more of that. All right, because there's no booster boxes. You have other formats to get the product, but it's not going to be equivalent to that booster box unless you're buying a lot of booster bundles, which is having a mini ETB or even formulated into having a miniature booster box. But I'm buying 151. I'm investing in that product. I'm also investing in Crown Zenith. And I'm investing into certain singles that I want to have. So there are going to be times, guys, is this the perfect storm? Pokemon still the perfect storm? Are we sitting in the eye of the storm? Or is it another storm brewing where we're entering into it in 2024? Or are we entering still in the eye of the storm of the previous storm where you just left? All right? And it looks sunny. You remember that storm, the perfect storm, the movie, how the fishermen were, they were in the storm, right? And then they said, the captain said, hey, we're going to sail up to Mississippi, right? Or wherever they were going, right? And they got up there and the sun came out and these guys were fishing like crazy, right? And the fish were just jumping in the boat. That's literally how it was happening in those nets, right? The fish were just clambering into the boat where the ice machine broke. The sun, it looks like they passed the storm, guys. Look like we collected so much Pokemon that we got over the storm, guys. And here it is. The sun is shining bright and it looked like we made it out of the storm, guys. We made it out. We made it out, guys. We're going to be millionaires. We made it out of the storm. I got so much of this and so much of that. We made it out of the storm. And look at the sun. Beautiful. And our boats are full. We really packed it in. We cleared out shelves. We bought out LGSs. We bought out Targets and Walmarts. We bought out distributors. And I got all this Pokemon product. And it's the perfect storm, right? And all of a sudden, what happens? Pokemon starts firing, mass produces, the product starts going to hell. It's not worth the 180. It goes back down to its original 90, what you paid. And what do? Sell it? Just think about that. It's something to think about in this investing, guys. Being in the storm and then getting in the eye of the storm where everything still looks good, but then you're in the eye of the storm, the sun goes away, those clouds come back, and now you got to ride those waves. And here it is, that boat going through those waves. And here it is, that ship got beat to hell, and here we are. Distributors, LGSs getting beat to hell, right? So much product, can't sell it. They got a flash sale, TikTok that, whatnot that. Sell it. Guys, we'll take a cut. We'll make 5% off of this. We're going to still ride the wave, man. We're riding that wave. Then all of a sudden, guys, just when you think you made it through and your ship, you can't even call a 911. You can't even make a SOS to try to sell your product. All of a sudden, you come out and you think that you just got that last wave and it looks like it's you made it out of the storm. And all of a sudden, from the horizon, you see this big rogue wave, 1,000 feet high, your tiny ship. And you take that throttle, you said, I'm going all in. And you rev that damn throttle all the way up. and you're making it, and you're starting to climb. You're starting to climb. You're starting to climb. You're starting to climb. And you get right in the middle of that wave, and all of a sudden you got that throttle. The engines are grinding. You're grinding, and you just make it to the edge of that wave. And the wave goes up, 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 and your ship goes over. And here you are, sitting on dead-ass product. No one wants it. No one wants to buy it. But we were sitting in the perfect storm. And now your product is not worth anything. Can you imagine yourself being in Pokemon and then your stuff isn't worth anything? How would you feel? Would you still stay in the hobby? Would you bail out? And this is the things, as an investor, we continue to ride the wave. No matter how stormy it may get outside, no matter how stormy the hobby is, we still ride the wave. And if rogue waves come to block us from trying to make it above, we think outside the box how to adjust to get over that wave. All right? And that's how you got to think about this in this hobby. That if your collection of what you invested a lot of your hard-earned money into went into a rogue wave where it flipped your ship, and then you had to go belly it up and sell everything because the market crashed and you decided to get out. Are you prepared for that? So, when the storm is here, our evidence of the storm, how you ride it, how you adjust, how you invest to make it through the storm. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Many of you probably aren't. All right? Many of you aren't. And if your stuff isn't worth anything, then you're going to be ready to sell and get out and get out of the hobby altogether. This is some things you have to think about, that when you get into investing, these are the risks that you are willing to take in this hobby. And as captain of this ship, of Pokemart TCG, stay the course, guys. Stay the course. Have your compass out. Know where you're sailing. Know where you're sailing. And when I say carry the compass is your directional tool. All right? The compass is your directional tool in this hobby, how you navigate. All right? Because you can put your ship in harm's way. All right? You can put your ship into harm's way. Make sure you develop the system, follow channels, your compass, guys. Give you the right direction to stay the course. All right? This was not to scare anyone out of this hobby from getting into it. It's just a video that the times are here, the good and the bad. And I want you guys to see both sides of it. And I wanted you guys to see that I was in goods and bads. Even though it wasn't Pokemon at that time, I saw the good and the bad. I was in those bad waters where the distributors, the card, the vendors, sharks in the water, trying to capsize the boat because they're all trying to make moves to sell a product. Trying to sell a product. And all it takes for that rogue wave to come, guys, and knock you off your course. And if you don't know how to navigate in this hobby, have the right compass to stay the course, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost. And you're going to exit this hobby as quick as you got in it. All right? So, with that said, guys, Pokemon investing is fun. There's profits, yes, on the table for you to make. There are just the right directions that you need to be taking, the right directions, the right recipe to make it through this hobby, in the good and the bad. All right? Follow the right direction, guys. Stay the course. Use your compass. It's your guide. The content creators here that are giving you that direction. You're navigators in the water. While you're in calm water, when the storm comes, you'll be able to navigate through the infestation of shark-tethered waters and rogue waves. You'll be able to make it through, guys, to the calmer water. All right? Because in this investing, you're going to have to take calm water and you're going to have to take some rough waters. All right? And those are the risks that we, as investors in this hobby, we take. All right? Be willing to take those when you get into this investing of Pokemon or any hobby or any commodity or thing you get involved where your money is going into it for investment that you're going to profit or make dividend on. All right? So, with that said, I didn't mean for this video to be an hour long, but I just wanted to give you guys both sides of the fence. That if you're just looking through that peephole, looking and saying, what the hell is this guy talking? You're looking through that peephole, guys. You're looking through that hole in the fence to see, in my mind, what I'm talking about. I'm just bringing it to you, putting it on the table. All right? So you guys can understand it. All right? But no way, shape, or form am I giving up on Pokemon despite mass production of products, because I already been through a lot of rough water and I have weathered every one of those storms. The sports card crash, boom, bust. Beanie Babies, crash, boom, bust. Video games, crash, boom, bust. But video games recovered, sports cards recovered, Beanie Babies have not. I'm going to leave you guys with this last little tip. Be careful what TCGs or any new TCGs you put your money into, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take on risk. All right? Because you're already in a high risk already with this commodity, this collectible. But it's a lot better risk. The odds are stacked a little bit better for you in your favor in Pokemon. That it does outperform other commodities or other things you could put your money into. It outperforms them. And I'm not telling you where to put your money, all right? Whether it's in Bitcoin, stocks, bonds, IRAs, wherever. I'm not telling you that. I'm not saying withdraw your 401k or take all your money out the bank and put it into Pokemon. I'm not telling you to do that. Just use your better judgment and decide on where you want to go and where you want to be or where you see yourself going in the next 5-10 years down the road. If you have that extra expendable cash to put into commodities, make sure you're putting into the right ones that are going to make you those dividends. All right? That's all I got to say, guys. With the side note, I do want to say I wish you guys the best investing in 2024 that you could possibly make. I hope you guys are making the best investments. Continue to watch my channel, Nostalgianomics, Northwoods, Poke Oz, the Pokey Office, Pokemart USA, Eli over there. Just trying not to leave out anybody. That Danny Phantom does some data stuff, so that's good for the investing side, that pull rate data. Haven't seen too much of pull data on Paradox Riff. I don't even think he did anything on Paradox Riff, any kind of like pull rate. I don't think he opened 1,000 packs or anything like that. I mean, I think that even kind of came to an end with pull rate data, but that was good for the hobby, for knowing pull rate data. But I think Danny pulled away from that now, and there's no one doing pull rate data. But watch investment channels, guys. We're still new here, and we're still learning. All right, and every day is a new walk, because I haven't touched base with every new investing channel, because there are some that may give some misleading information, and some I may not agree with their ways or their talk. All right, but I try to just key into viewers, channels that I believe in their investing strategies, the way they invest, are very much similar to my way. And there are new investing channels that are coming up. So, I like to hear what other people have to say. So I'm not, afraid to listen in onto some newer channel to get their bird's eye view on what they're doing. Because, some new channels may have some very good ways of investing, and may have some new concept that, that sounds like a good way to strategize and set up for investing. So, I'm good for hearing all other people's aspects and ideas, because we all bring a lot of different things to the table, different mindsets. And, I believe we play an important role here on YouTube for people that are new, that don't invest in the stock market, but never knew you can invest into a commodity. So I truly believe that, the investing side of Pokemart, we're here to stay, and we're just going to get more people climbing on board with us, to even build up a stronger community with both the collectors and all of that. I just want to say, thanks everybody for everyone that tuned into my channel, for all your support, for the comments that I do get left. Don't get a lot of comments, but thankful for the ones that I do get. So I appreciate all you guys that stop by this channel and check me out. Really appreciate all the love and support. With that said, guys, I want you guys to have the best New Year you can. If you're going out with your loved ones this evening, be very careful. All right, watch the ball drop. If you're going down to New York City, watch the ball drop. Be careful. Be mindful. All right, young ladies out there, be mindful of your surroundings. A lot of females getting kidnapped, and there's a lot of human especially females getting like abducted and being sold elsewhere. So females, be careful of vans parked next to your car. You open the door, you might get snatched up. Just saying, be very careful. On New Year's Eve, don't drink too much where you don't know of your surroundings, you're not aware. Be careful where you park. Be mindful where you park and what cars you're parked to. All right, and if there's vans with doors on the side where you're getting in, they have no windows on them, be very careful when you're exiting your car and getting into your car, because you never know when that sliding door is going to open up, especially if you're by yourself. There's nobody in another car near you hears you or holler or scream or whatever. You could very well vanish in that van, because we had a van come around in our neighborhood that someone was trying to track. They followed it, and they made a 911 call about a van that came by, said something to kids in our area, and I'm in New Windsor, and they were calling some kids over, the van was, and an adult yelled to the driver, and the driver took off. So another man had followed the van, the white van, and police told him that he gave the license plate and everything. But the police, he was tailing a guy. He told the police officer told him, don't, just because we don't want that guy to stop or start or open up fire, or stop in the middle of the street and then start firing. So he told that guy to stop following. But the guy was on the phone giving description of the van and the license plate and the color and all that stuff. So I say that to you guys, just be very careful, all right? The females, even you young guys, just be careful out there of your surroundings, even when you're parking in Walmart and Target. Park in a well-lit area, not in a dark area. Park in a well-lit area. Try to be with someone, all right? Accompany yourself with someone when you're going to your New Year's Eve parties or to your car. Have someone accompany you to your car. If you forgot something, you're taking photos, you need your camera, whatever, you forgot your purse, whatever. You have somebody accompany you to your car, just to make sure you get to your car safely if you're at a party or whatever. All right, just be safe in general, guys. A lot of people, hopefully I get to see you guys next year, that you're not on one of those lists where this guy passed away because he was at a party on New Year's Eve, got to a car accident because he drank too much. All right, be very careful. But have a good time, guys. Have a good time on your New Year's Eve. I'm going to be home here. I'm going to enjoy myself here at the house. Have a happy New Year. All right? And happy investing, everybody. All right? With that said, guys, remember to get out there and catch them all. Have a ball. And I'll see all of y'all in 2024 with a whole new studio, brand new stuff. And sometime in 2024, we'll be here with you guys. All right? With that said, have a great rest of the afternoon. Have a great holiday. Happy New Year. Enjoy. I'll see all y'all on the next video. Do it me now. Peace. Whole lot of love for you. And a high five. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.